In this video, we are going to see how to add Slack client information to Google Sheets with contact details. So if you are using Slack as an instant social messaging app and you want that every time there is a new user, you want the details of that user to be added on Google Sheets. So how would you do that? You have to integrate these two applications. Let me take you to my screen and show you how. So let us understand this process step by step. For this, the first thing that we need to do is we have to type the URL www.pabbly.com/connect. And as we do that and press on enter, so it is going to take us to the landing page of Pabbly Connect software. Now here on the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, you can simply sign in. And if you are a new user, then here you can click and sign up for free, and trust me, it will not take more than 2 minutes. We provide 100 free tasks every month in the free account of Pabbly Connect. Now since I am an existing user, I'm going to click on sign in here. And this has taken me to the all apps page. So these are all the applications that we have. And since I'm doing this integration using Pabbly Connect software, so let's click on access now. And now this has taken us to the dashboard. Here on the right hand side, you can see a blue tab, create workflow. So I'm going to click on this create workflow and this dialog box appears, which is asking me to name this workflow. Now what is our objective? Our objective is to add Slack client information to Google Sheets with email and contact details. So I'm going to simply name Slack information to Google Sheets. Now let's click on create. And as we do that, it has taken us to this particular page where you can see two very important events, trigger and action. Triggers and actions are basically those two important concepts or principles on which this entire workflow works. So here we have to choose an app. So this belongs to trigger. Trigger basically means when this happens, an action is the result, basically response of the trigger. So here what I need to do is the Slack information that I'll receive, I have to share it on Google. So the first application I'm going to use is Slack. And now let's click on Slack here. So we know that Slack is like a social instant messaging thing. So here, what do I need? I need to create a new channel. So here, what do I need? I need to create a new user. So I'm going to click on new user. Why? Because there would be a new user and then you are going to extract that information and share it on Google Sheets. Let's click on connect. Now here Pabbly Connect is asking us to, connect it with Slack account. For this, we are going to click on add new connection and then click connect with Slack. Now here it is asking for a token type. So basically we are going to choose user here. Why? Because whenever we are sending some messages, it can have images, videos or URLs. And for those purposes, we have to use user. Let's click on save here. Now here, since I've already logged in into my Slack account, so here Pabbly Connect is requesting permission to access the Pabbly Connect Slack workspace. So I'm going to come down and click on allow, which is going to authorize this. So here we can see that the authorization has been successful. So once this is connected, I'm going to click on save and send test request. And we have received this information. This information basically belongs to the last contact which was created on Slack. Now the next thing is I want this information on Google Sheets. So the next application that I'm going to use is Google Sheets. Let's click. And now the action event. So the action event that I'm going to choose here is look up spreadsheet rows. Why? Because it has to check. So first of all, it has to add, or at the same time, it has to check. So I'm going to click on this and then we are going to click on connect. So again, Pabbly Connect is asking me to connect it with Google Sheets account. So let's click on add new connection and then connect with Google Sheets. Here also I have already logged into my Google Sheets. So it is asking me which particular mail ID do I need to use. So let's click on this. And now it is asking me for authorization. Click on continue and then the authorization is successful. So now Pabbly Connect is asking me to select the spreadsheet. Now I already have created a spreadsheet here. You can see that name, contact number, and email address is there. And then we have certain names also. So here I'm going to go back and the name has to be Slack users information Once done, it is going to select the sheet. Now since there is only one sheet here, see, there is only one sheet. That's why it has already selected the sheet. Otherwise, you would have to choose it. Now the lookup column. So here we have to enter the last column. So if we'll go back, so this is the last column which is C. So going back, I'm going to type C here and then the lookup value. So what is the value? I need to map the email address. So here let's look for the email address. Let's search for the email. Here it is. And then click. Now I'm going to go down and click on save and send test request. Now here you can see that the result that we have received, the response result is data not found. Why? Because this email ID dummy@pabblytudes.com is not there in this sheet, right? So I'm going to go back now. Now the next step that we have to choose is what? Basically there can be two conditions. One, if this value that we have received or if this user already exists in that spreadsheet or this is a new user. So now let's say that this particular user is already there in the sheet. So for this I'm going to put a filter so that we can have these conditions, and here I'm going to select the label as response result, which means that this result data not found should be equal to again data not found. Here this means that if the user that we have created is not a part of the existing Google Sheet, then the user would be added there. But if in case the user already exists, then this workflow will stop right here. So I'm going to click on save and send test request here. And now here you can see that the status is a success and the message is condition is true, which here means that this particular user is not a part of my current Google Sheet. So now I'm going to come down and choose the next application as again Google Sheets. Why? Because since this user is not a part of Google Sheets, I'll have to add. So here the action event would be add new row. Let's click on this and click on connect. So as I did that, I am going to use my existing connection. So let's click on save. And now as I come down here, it is again asking me to select the spreadsheet. So let's select the same spreadsheet. The page would automatically get selected here. And now the name. So here we are supposed to map the name. So let's go on Slack new user. And then here we have to give the name dummy. Right? Then we have to map the contact number. So again, we are going to go to Slack. So we do not have a number here. So I'm just clicking on profile phone and then the email address. So again, go to Slack new user, write email, and here you have the email. That is it. Now we are going to click on save and send test request. And now once done, here you can see that we have received the response. We are going to go back to Slack to see if this particular email address is there. Yes, see, the name is there, email address is there. Since there was no contact number, so that particular field is blank. So basically, the test of this particular integration is a success. And now I'm going to do this live, which means I'm going to again go back to Slack. And now here, I'm going to create a new user. So this is my channel general and I'm going to add people. So let's say that I have to add 824@gmail.com and then I'm going to invite and now click on add. So as I do that, basically a mail has been sent to this particular email address to confirm if they would want to accept the invite. So let's click on done. So now I have given the authorization and here you can see dummy test with the same email ID has joined, which means a new user has been created. Now we need to check if this user is now a part of our Google Sheet. So we are going to go to our Google Sheet now. And here I'm going to click on refresh. So now here you can see that the data has not been captured. Why? So basically if you go here you can see that this trigger will check for new data in every 10 minutes. This is basically known as the polling time. So if your data doesn't get captured immediately, do not worry about it. Why? Just wait for 15-20 minutes patiently and the data will surely arrive. And now after waiting for 10-15 minutes, I'm going to go back to my sheet and here you can see that yes, we have received the information. This is the dummy test. So I hope this is absolutely clear to you. In case of any doubts, do not worry. Let's quickly go back to Pabbly Connect and check the process. So here, what did we do? The first trigger that we had chosen was Slack. This was our application where we had chosen the event as new user because we wanted to create a new user on Slack. Once that was done, we received the response where we had received the last contact. Then the next action application was Google Sheets, where we had chosen the action event as lookup spreadsheet rules. And then we had the next action as filter. Why filter? Because here we had two options. First, the new user. The user that we have is already a part of the Google Sheet, and second option is that it is not a part of the Google Sheet. In that case, if it is a part, then this workflow will stop then and there. But if it is not a part of Google Sheets, which means it is a new user, then this workflow will continue. And then finally, the fourth action was, again we had chosen the application as Google Sheets, and the event was add new row. And that is it. I hope you have understood this. In case of any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the description box, and also you can clone the same workflow to process automatically.